Hello, welcome back. As a little treat before finals, I actually had the other top 4 match recorded. So this is a game played between Ben or PTCG Archive on Banette and Hail Kappa Ashley on Flygon. A little bit of list discussion and sort of matchup prep. This is Ben's Banette list. I love this list. If you're not playing, the double mu reversals, I think this is what you want to be on. 4 swoop, 4 warp point. It's even got 4 warp energy in there. This is consistency as king, and Ben is going to look to turn 1 ascension, turn 2 attack, and keep attacking until he can take a win. Moving over to Ashley's list. As far as Flygon lists go, it's pretty stock standard. She does have the 101 Sceptile in here, which I'm not too much of a fan of. But in this matchup, it's pretty good. She also gets the benefit of not having to rely on Flygon in this matchup. Her main strategy will be to loop her 2 Mews with Delta Supply to use Copy and Oko Banette for its own attack. With that, let's get into the match. Alright, so this will be an interesting one. I don't play these decks. I've not got particularly many games on, especially Flygon. I've got a couple of games on Banette, but not on Jolteon. I've mostly just been playing Mew and reversals. But yeah, we're going to see a pretty stock standard cast form attach pass. Every stage 2 deck in the format will do that once in a while. And Ben is going to open Jolteon. Now he does have 8 outs in his deck to be able to swoop or to warp point into a Shuppet, especially with that mental played. He just needs to play a warp point to Ascension, but unfortunately, I think he does just miss it here, which is really going to put him a bit behind. He also must have a mildly dead hand, because he goes discard. He goes mental discard energy instead of supporter, and he's just going to attach to his Shuppet and pass. So we're getting a pretty slow open from Ben, which is really not what you want to see. And Ashley's going to Steven into 3 basics. Did I just see? Into Trapinch Pidgey. Just gets an attach down and Delta draws for 1. But the slower this game goes, the better for Ashley. The more setup she gets. So yeah, in terms of what each player is sort of looking to happen here is Ashley kind of wants to just chain supporters, get 6 in the discard, and be able to use both Mews to just copy Shadow Chant, because it does 90, and will Oko Banette, and Ben's gonna miss. He's gonna miss a swoop and a warp point. He's not gonna hit either of them off of the scientist, and he's just got to attach to Jolteon. He can swoop that later, but not getting an attack off this turn is pretty rough, as Ashley just hits another evolve and then draws 5 Pokemon off of that Stevens. What? She does only play the 2 Stevens, but being able to chain them back to back is really nice. I think she's not going to Delta draw, just respecting another scientist. Although I think I would just Delta draw here. Your opponent's already getting value out of Scientist, and your opponent's already getting value out of Admin. You've just drawn a lot. As Ben's going to play another supporter, not discarding a supporter, which is kind of unfortunate. But yeah. So the longer the game goes, better for Ashley. Ben kind of wants to. If Ben had Ascension turn 1, he should already be up a prize, and he should be going to 4 this turn, which is crazy, because he's only going to take his first prize now, as he mentors for literally just Magnemite. I think Ben had prized to shop it this game, and he does rip prizes pretty aggressively, but yeah, he's not going to be able to set up those Banettes as cleanly as he'd like to, as Ashley just has bought enough time with Ben's Whiff to open to be able to make a Flygon. Ashley's kind of looking to lead with one Flygon. You kind of don't want to keep putting Flygons in play, because the more Flygons you put in play, the more damage Ben gets to run with. Ashley doesn't play like an Absol or something in her list, which would be able to like let her pick up a double KO on Banettes if she were to make 2 Flygons. So yeah, she's just kind of using the first Flygon to time a stall. I would have liked to have seen her Delta draw last turn, because her hand was basically just Flygon. She didn't actually have anything else. She doesn't need anything. Well, she doesn't need anything else that turn, but like, you know, you would much rather have a Pidgeot on board right now. As Ben's going to look over his hand now. He's always yeah. So Ashley then wants to from this Flygon. This Flygon's going to take 2 because it trades really nicely. Ben's going to get the swoop finally, and I think he pulled a Shuppet off his prize, so he can swoop that into a Shuppet. Yeah. So from here, Ashley's looking to sort of pivot to just putting energy on Mew twice. She's actually 3 turns in, 3 supporters played, which is like really quite good, because she's just 2 turns off being able to one-shot with Mimicry and with Copy, because she plays the Fire Mew and Blue Mew. Blue Mew is on the bench right now. That's that card with Insane Glare. So yeah, she's really quite in it. But I think Ben's gonna do some debate on where to put his shady moves. He does play 3 Desert Ruins. It doesn't really properly make a difference in this matchup. Well, because you're always 2-shotting this Flygon. I assume it's probably really good into like Rayquaza and things like that, but not quite here. So he's going to shady move across. Actually, because of this really slow start, I bet yeah, okay. So he's gonna retreat with Jinx and just use a Warp Energy to be able to shady move twice, which is always quite nice. I might like to have seen him greed a bit here and push 10 off the damaged Banette, just to keep 10 more damage on board. I understand like moving off the Banette to be able to sort of not get KO'd by Mew 1 turn earlier if Ashley does miss a supporter, but I don't think she does. Yeah, she just immediately hits the Transceiver. Yeah, so yeah, because of Ben's slow start, I guess he does need actually that extra damage from Desert Ruins, so that's quite nice for him. But yeah, Ashley's just looking to put a Delta Flygon in play, and basically once you got a Delta Flygon in play, you can just play Mentor and win the game. It just does. You can Mentor, and you can get like Chimecho, Mew, and Castform, and like with the Delta Flygon in play, it's chalked. She's going to hit the energy off of the Adventurer, and she's also going to be able to get Mentor in the discard. So she's actually at what, 4 supporters in the discard, 5 going into next turn. She can support a discarding supporter next turn and actually has just Copy already locked. Now, here I don't know about the Trico here. It gives... Ben's only got 2 Banettes, and over 2 turns, if you can't make this a Sceptile, Ben will actually be able to just ping, shady move, shady move, shady move, shady move, and pick up the extra prize, which will fix his map. Well, it won't fix his map, but it will just make the turn faster. I think we're just doing between turn damage. You've got sand damage and Desert Ruins pinging off. But like, if the Sceptile does get established, it's quite nice. Like, in the Flygon deck, I think the Sceptile is just like really bad. It doesn't fix your, you know, classically you play Sceptile to fix Bomb Tower matchups. Flygon's Bomb Tower matchup is so bad that it just doesn't fix it. And like, you look at like, oh, it makes my Imprison matchup better, but it really puts a lot of pressure on your resources, as Ben's going to ping across to that Trico and he's threatening KO on it next turn. But he doesn't have another Shuppet, which is kind of rough actually, as he's going to Shadow Chant. And and it you know, so you play it for and actually gets admined to 4 into Candy Pidgeot, which is really nice. That's really going to help her stabilize here. In fact, if I remember correctly, she doesn't get admined into just Candy Pidgeot. She gets admined into Candy Pidgeot Supporter, so she is actually going to be able to make that KO or by quick searching for a mentor. And I think you just go Cast Form, other Mew Cast Form here, and you know, you're sitting there. If you can make a Delta Flygon next turn, you win the game. Your opponent's at 3, they can't win the game. And she's got what? 2 Cast Form in bin. She's not prized any. She's gonna attach a Cast Form, and that is Delta Mew on the bench. Absolutely blinding white card. As she's just gonna copy Shadow Chant with Mimicry for the KO. Yeah, so you play the Sceptile to like fix the Imprison matchup, and it just slows down. All you want to do in the Imprison matchup is just like make as many Flygons as you can, because that deck has to do the most to get rid of one Flygon. And I think the fact that the Sceptile basically makes that, like, it makes making Flygons actually more difficult, and it comes up, you know, as like we could attack with the Sceptile, but the Sceptile just dies to Imprison Gardevoir, so it's just a worse Flygon. Like, yeah, at that point, if I was worried about Imprison, and you keep like quite a wide bench on Flygon, so it's kind of tough to play Tropius, as Ben's only got 1 Shady move this turn because he could not find more Banettes, so that Trico is going to live on 10 health, and the Mew's down, and here Ashley just should be able to just Candy, Delta Flygon, attach with the Delta Supply, and then Cast Form, and then attack for win. But I think she tunnel visions a bit. She's got another supporter discarding supporter, which is quite nice. I mean, nah, at this point it's excessive, right? You don't. That's just because you're binning whatever. But yeah, I think she tunnel visions basically on getting this Candy Sceptile. She like has game. You can, because she plays a Researcher and can get Delta Flygon off of that. She tunnel visions a bit on the Sceptile and just candies into it, which is a bit unfortunate as she just misses win. And she has she bumped the attach, like she Cast Formed the energy back to her hand earlier. So yeah, she would have had the Psychic for Delta Supply. The Cast Form was in deck and could have been got off that Mentor on the previous turn. So yeah, I don't know. It's just a miss on game there. But yeah, as you can see, if the Banette doesn't get ahead enough, fast enough, it really does become a problem, especially in this matchup. Ben's kind of looking at his options because now he's got one more Banette. It's dead to attach Cast Form, and he's going to make a mistake here. He plays a Warp Point. This I just don't know why you play the Warp Point. He's got 3 in his hand. Maybe he's thinning for Scientist, but like you can actually like made a mistake in promoting the Pidgeot there, because you can just KO it with Jolteon as Ben TV reporters into the Retriever to get back that Jolteon that he swooped earlier, but now has Warp Pointed the Pidgeot out of the active. And yeah, so Ben says, "Oh, go on then, Ring Around the Rosie, plays another warp point, and Ashley, I don't know if she forgot. Well, okay, she must not have been thinking about Jolteon because she pushed the Pidgeot and left it there on the previous turn. But yeah, it's going to get her Pidgeot KO'd, and actually doesn't have a second energy in hand. And so Ashley's gone from having guaranteed game 2 turns ago to having a Sceptile in play and losing her Pidgeot as a trade-off. And Ben's at 1 prize, so it really does just come down to this Rockets admin. If Ashley hits an energy, she wins. If she doesn't, she loses. And the first card is an energy, and she wins. So yeah, that is going to be the match. That's 2 pretty aggressive decks getting in the paint against each other, really. Ben's going to show off his Shop It prizes. But yeah. Much faster than the the Imprison Mirror I had to do the other day. God. And we're going to see, really, the power of using copy against Banette. Right, well, hope you enjoyed, and next time will actually be the finals. So, cheers, bye-bye.